Hello, I'm Keith Casebolt from Creative Media of Kentucky. Congratulations on entering into the world of politics. Now, your upcoming race is going to require all of your focus on the issues and those who are going to possibly vote for you. So, the one thing that you don't need to worry about is the media. I'm talking bumper stickers, billboards, newspaper print, radio, television, digital. Who do you buy? Cable, broadcast. There's a lot of decisions to be made. We're the experts at that. We take all of that off your plate, put your campaign together, and handle all of the buying and all of the production. Now that gives you the time to do what you need to. Meet all of the voters, focus on the issues, and get elected. Give us a call at Creative Media of Kentucky.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. You've seen these billboards and ads that say size matters. I agree. The size that matters is the size of the results the law firm gets for their clients. We have several multi-million-dollar verdicts here in Kentucky. In fact, our firm owns the record for the single largest personal injury verdict in the state of Kentucky. That's the size that matters to you. In Kentucky, give our firm the call.
If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson cries for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law of Life provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law of Life with Gary C. Johnson and Keith Casebolt.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into the radio program, Simply the Law of Life. I'm Keith Casebolt, and my dear friend that discusses those laws, Gary C. Johnson. Good to see you.
It's great to be here, Keith. Hey, guys and gals that are listening out there, have you got to be successful yet? We're already into March.
We've been talking about it now for the last couple of months.
That's right, and I think it's time for them to say, okay, it worked.
You know, this success thing, you've broken it down that it's different to everybody, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, because if you're happy, you're already successful.
Right. Oh, no, all my friends got happy last year.
Yeah, but that's part of the
Now
success.
we're going to have a little success to go along with it.
To add on top
this year.
Sometimes, Gary, when you're looking at this being a success, it can seem so complicated that there's just absolutely no way to get ahead. And then I listen to you talk, smiling and freely discussing it, and I think, wait a minute, there's no way that you can't get ahead or that you can fail. I mean, it goes from one extreme with me to the other.
Attitude, persistence, right?
Persistence. Boy, that was a big one, wasn't it?
Being willing to get out of bed early.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Uh-huh.
Being willing to work late if you need to. Hopefully you don't. And thinking all the time is real important.
Studying, knowing what the process that you're trying to accomplish, having information about it, or being smart enough to find the person who does know.
I had a thought this weekend.
All right.
I'll share it with you. Some fellow said to me, he said, I'm absolutely positive something is this way. Okay?
100%.
100%. He didn't know anything about it. That's when I realized that the only time you can ever be 100% positive is when you don't know anything about it.
Therefore, you truly believe it.
Yeah, you can say I'm 100% positive when you really don't have a clue.
Because I get where you're going, because the more information you get, the more questions you have.
And the more likely it is you'll say, I may not be correct on this.
Yeah, because you're going to think about it deeper and say, wait a minute.
So the next time somebody says to you, I'm 100% positive on this, you might be able to assume, but they probably don't know anything about it.
You know for a fact they've never done it or never experienced it.
Right.
Or they would have
or done the research
reservations, yeah.
That's just a thought I had.
Well, it makes perfectly good sense.
And it come to me when that fellow said that, when I knew for a fact, one said that he didn't know anything about it.
Well,
I didn't either, but
Look on all of our news programs right now. We've had experts after experts talk about situations or things only to come out and say, hey, I was wrong. I thought I was right.
Expert is somebody that lives 50 miles away.
I used your they over the weekend. Yeah. They say, or they told me, or they came up with the solution. And anytime you ask, no one knows who they are.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. It's quite comical.
Somebody said they say to you.
But we use that, don't we? We sit there and go, they tell me.
When you want to say something that you probably don't know anything about, you will try to validate it by saying they say.
Makes it legit.
It makes it legit, even though you don't have a clue who they are.
Yeah, so instead of you sitting there going, I have no idea, you feel compelled to say, it's this way because they say so.
Well, going off on law for a second, one of the hardest things to get a client to do in a deposition when they're taking their deposition to find out what happened is to only tell what they know.
Why is that?
Because they assume that because a lawyer asks them a question, that they have to have an answer to it. And so they'll come up with some answer that may not have a thing to do with anything in the world or something they assumed.
Mm-hmm.
So if any of you are getting ready to go into a deposition that's listening to this out there, listen carefully. Only answer the questions you're asked. If you don't know it, say, I don't know it. If you don't remember, say, I don't remember. But don't think that you are compelled to give an answer just because some lawyer asks you a question.
So what is it with the human nature? Are we afraid that people are going to think that we're stupid or look down on us if we look back and say, I don't know?
Well,
I mean, you've asked me a question that I don't know the answer to.
And skilled lawyers know that people will feel compelled to give them an answer. And they'll know the answer that the people don't know the answer when they ask a question.
So you think you're doing good by trying to give information and you're trying to help, but in reality, you're doing more damage because more than likely what you've said is not
Or someone
right.
doesn't even remember how the wreck happened because it happened so fast.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll start asking them details. Well, where were your feet? Where were your hands on the steering wheel?
Mm-hmm.
And people feel compelled to give answers to those when they don't have a clue.
How fast were you going?
How fast were you going?
Yeah.
Unless they had their guys glued on the speedometer, they don't know. They would know whether or not they were speeding.
So the truth of the matter is they could estimate, but they can't tell you exactly.
Or how long did it take for them to hit you when you first saw them? They don't have a clue to the answer to that because most wrecks happen so fast that nobody could do anything to prevent it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a wreck, right?
No, if you could get out of the way, you'd get out of the way.
So the attorneys are hoping that they can get somebody to give them a time frame which would give them enough time to get out of the way.
And this is all based off of human nature.
We
tend to want to talk and give answers to when we don't know the information.
You feel, and I say it again, if some lawyer asks you a question, you don't have to give an answer. You don't have to come up with some story to answer that question. Say, I don't know. I don't remember. Tell the truth. I don't know. You know.
When in doubt.
Tell the truth.
The two things I quote you on all the time.
When they ask you how long did it take for this to happen, you tell the truth. It happened so fast, there's nothing I could do.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
The truth of the matter is, if you got out of the way, you'd got out of the way.
That's right. If there's been any time there for you to do something, you would have done it.
Certainly you didn't see.
You sure as hell wasn't going to sit there and let somebody run over you.
Oh, I saw them coming about a mile away.
Yeah.
And it took about 30 seconds before they hit me.
And you know, Sometimes people will give answers like that.
Incredible.
Just thinking that they have to give an answer. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was talking to an individual the other day. I asked them how long it took them to do this drive. I know the answer. The answer had to be an hour and 10 minutes. They said, about 35, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, you'd had to be doing 100 miles an hour. Oh, well, it might be 40, 45 minutes. I mean,
They felt like they had to give an answer.
they felt like they had to give an answer, and the answer was completely wrong.
We do it every day in ordinary conversation. We will give an answer thinking that we need to give an answer when we really don't have the facts. And we don't really know.
But is it the fear factor?
It's not the fear factor. It's just, if I could figure out what it was, I'd patent it. I don't know what it is. It's just human nature. It's part of human nature.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here thinking, if you ask me how this computer runs, instead of me saying, I really have no idea other than to move the mouse, I would try to tell you what it is that I know, knowing that it's very limited. Instead of saying, truth of the matter is, Gary, I move the mouse and the little thing comes on. That's about what I know.
It's like your phone. It's just a miracle. How's my phone work? I don't know.
I just know you dial this and push that, and the rest of it's a mystery to me.
I don't know what this we're talking about has to do with success. But I was just thinking that I may need to, and the reason it popped into my head, so I guarantee you, there's somebody out there that's getting ready to go give a deposition that's listening to this program.
Well,
okay?
It comes down to trying to do things on your own when you may not know the answer. You and I were reading from a book, Gary, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and I kind of found a passage that goes along with what you're talking about that says you can gain power and success through the mastermind. Well, when I first saw that, I thought, they want you to have a mastermind. No, he's saying the mastermind is the people around you. No individual will ever have great power without availing himself to the mastermind. The plans for the purpose of translating your desire and your persistence can only work when you use the selection of the mastermind group. Then your objective will be reached. This guy is talking about all the great people in the world, from Henry Ford to the rest, who surrounded themselves with people that knew different things and other things that they didn't, and collectively they pulled them in as a mastermind group, and they didn't try to answer things they didn't know. They said, this person knows, much like you've talked about the jury system.
It is amazing how you don't accomplish anything based on just what you do. Very rarely. And maybe it can happen, but most of the time, if you don't have other people helping you, it's not going to happen.
So whether it's Bill Gates or anyone in the world, you're going to find out that he had a group of people or a partner or somebody with him that made that collective mastermind for success.
Well, let's just take a law office, for example. Mine. There's women in my office that can type like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They can go through files. They can do all kinds of amazing things with the computer. I can't do it. I've got.
But they can't do what you do.
It's different.
It's a completely different.
It's
okay.
a different. We've got one young woman in our office that can actually take a computer and do an animation of a wreck on that computer.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me and put a gun to my head, yeah, Gary, you got to do this, they'd end up shooting me.
I see where you're going.
And then it's like we've got an attorney that does nothing but legal research. That's all he does. I haven't done legal research in years. I wouldn't even know where to start because I don't have to now.
Because you've got the individual
I've got somebody
that's an expert.
That's a genius at it.
Yeah.
So now, where would I be if I didn't have all of those people helping me? It's the Gary C. Johnson Law Firm.
Uh-huh.
right? But it's run by extremely talented people.
So your plan for success is like a puzzle. You put all of these pieces together that builds the picture that you present in the end.
Right. Sometimes I tell them I seem to be thinking I've become nothing more than a cheerleader. But it's not. I still do the depositions and the trials and things.
Mm-hmm.
But it is amazing what people can do. It's amazing what people in my office can do. And the talent. I'm just so lucky to have the people that I've got.
So let me ask you about this related to your law office and to success, because the next paragraph talks about thinking in perfect harmony. The intangible potential of the power available to you of a mastermind group will come out when the person can surround himself with other men and women that think and act and work in wholehearted, perfect harmony. So let's talk about this, because as you discuss this, it's almost as if though you're telling me the group of people in your law firm act as one. The researcher knows what you're looking for. The animator knows exactly how you want it to be put together. And they're saying, Gary would want me to do it this way. Gary would like it this way. And you're over here saying, I can see this case and my people are going to put this part together and put this part together. And together, even though you're individuals, you have a perfect harmony of thinking together on how to present the case.
And it makes sense when we're done. That's the key to it.
Because everyone is intertwined, thinking in the same way.
They don't necessarily think the same way. They think toward the same result. What's the beauty of it is they think differently.
Mm-hmm.
And they have different talents that they bring. Just take our phone system.
Yeah.
We've got one of our attorneys lives in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Now, this is what technology's done. I can pick up a phone on my desk and dial his extension, and he'll answer.
As if though he's next door.
As if he's in the same office where I'm sitting.
Uh-huh.
Same way with Louisville.
So the technology
it's all internet. It's just
has brought us all together to where you're able to do the things that as if though you were sitting in a circle.
And if we want to talk about a case, just do a Zoom link and we're sitting there face to face talking about the case as though we were in the same room together.
So someone's out there listening to this program right now that says, I've got this great idea, and if only I had the help and the people and whatever. Is the book, and based upon what you're doing with the law firm, are you telling this individual, look around you for the people that are in your group, make them your mastermind group, that they have skill sets that you don't have, and collectively form your group to become that mastermind that will succeed?
And you will, and it will work, my friends. The main thing you have to understand to make that work is there's no such thing as a big I, little you in that group.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where most people never put it together, because they think that they are the big important one when they're not.
Again, here you've always said this, I'm going to lift some people up and make them happy, and I'm going to bring some people down. Because if I get you, you're saying we're all spokes in the wheel. And if you take
equally important,
you take one of the spokes out, it's not going to work.
Well, it's like everyone listening to this show, you can do something better than at least 10,000 other people.
So is the mistake we make trying to do the stuff that we're not good at?
The mistake we make is not appreciating
great point.
the talents of the people around us.
Great point. So in other words, it was my idea.
Right.
I'm the important one because it was my idea, but your idea is not going to go anywhere unless you get help from the individual across the table.
From someone that's going to implement that and put it together and make it happen. There's only so many hours in a day, and you can't just rely upon yourself and achieve what you want to achieve. Those of you that are listening know what I'm talking about. You can't do it. There's not enough hours in the day. You've got to have good, competent, really important people helping you to make anything happen. You really do.
And the mistake is when we try to take it all on ourselves and say, I'm going to be doing everything. There's no way that that's possible.
You're in the advertising business.
Mm-hmm.
And before the show, I was sitting there talking to you about all the different aspects of advertising now. And as I said to you, and I meant it, was actually your job is probably more complicated than being a lawyer.
It's changed. Yeah.
Trying to keep up with it.
In the 40 years, I mean, I've got people that are experts in digital and everything that goes on with these cell phones and the websites and the Facebook and the TikTok. I've got people who shoot video that edit. I've got people that do audio. I mean, they do things that are so different now that it is amazing to me.
And look at that. You just said what I was talking about. You've got people doing these things for you.
Have to.
You couldn't do it yourself.
I don't have to. Yeah.
So that's the key to success, folks, is get a bunch of you together and coordinate it. Make it happen.
And you, if you look, you will find those people with the talent right around you.
It is amazing, and I was talking to Anita about this weekend. It is amazing what people can do and will do if they're put in a position to do it. It's just amazing to me.
Well, to prove this is true, Andrew Carnegie said the mastermind group consisted of a staff of 50 men with whom he surrounded himself with. He attributed his entire fortune, all of his power, everything that he ever accumulated to that group, that mastermind group. It also says if you'll analyze the record of any man who has ever accumulated a great fortune, you will see that it was done because he employed the mastermind group. It simply makes sense. You've said it for years on this program that when you walk before a jury of 12 people, you've got how many years of experience there?
At least 500.
So you've got at least 500 years of experience in 12 different categories. There's probably nothing that you can say to them or mention that one of them won't know more about it than you do.
Well, I've seen lawyers go in the courtroom and think they're going to pull something over on a jury.
Because they're brilliant.
That never works.
The 12 will outsmart you every time.
Every single time. I have honestly, the jury system is the most magnificent invention that's ever been, and the number 12 is magic.
And Gary, if I get this right, this book that's talking about success is saying create you a mastermind group, create you a jury system, get you 12 people that you can go to that can help you and surround yourself with them.
Right. And if it's just 2 or 3 people, that's okay. It doesn't have to be 50.
No.
But you have to have help if you're going to be able to accomplish something and be successful. You're not going to be able to do it on your own. Now, you may make a good living,
Mm-hmm.
and you may make you some money. And if you don't spend that money, you may accumulate some money. But if you're going to be successful, truly successful in your life, financially, you're going to have help to do it. Now, if you're going to be successful in life, non-financially, and being happy and content, you still got to have people in your life. It's not an option.
You know, what I liked after reading this chapter before you and I thought about the Bible. In the Bible, the good Lord says, where there's 2 or 3 gathered together, there I am in the midst also.
Right.
So it's even endorsed from the Bible.
It's the way it is. We need each other. And don't ever think that you're a big I and everybody else is a little you. It does not work that way. You will not be successful if you take that attitude.
Well, and I can tell our friends listening, it does work. I had someone say to me not long ago, you know, you quote Gary C. Johnson a whole lot. I said, there's a reason. There's a reason I quote him. I'm learning, and it's helping me. So I pay attention to what he says, and I use those quotes because when things pop up that I need help on, I go back to the lessons. The book is really giving you a good path to have a start towards success.
And my friends, it just hit me in, I got to say it, if you're in a position or a situation where you're miserable, get out of it.
Amen.
Plot, plan, sneak, do whatever I don't care what you have to do, but get out of it. You've got a very small dash, and then in the end, we just die. Period. Don't waste that dash being miserable or letting anyone else make you miserable, my friends. Don't do it.
No do-overs.
There's no do-over.
And as
you can't come back and do it over.
You and I talked, if you could go to anyone that has passed this life and ask for the first piece of advice, the thing they would tell you is don't be miserable, don't waste the time that you got, and do exactly what you said. Cherish every minute of it.
Put your brain to it. You can get out of that situation, my friends.
Great advice, my friend. You can catch Gary's television show. We're still on in Central Kentucky right now. You can catch us on the Fox affiliate early on Monday morning and early on Friday morning as we start and close out the weekend. And you can catch us on the CW. We're on there around noontime. This radio program is on your favorite radio station every week at the same time, so please tune us in. If you need to contact Gary or get in touch with him, Gary at GaryCJohnson.com. My friend, thanks for the talk and the lesson. As always, doesn't it feel good to feel good?
It's the only way to go.
On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, Gary and I look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at this same time.
Thank you for listening to Simply the Law of Life, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy.
If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson cries for every dime.
Hello, I'm Keith Casebolt from Creative Media of Kentucky. Congratulations on entering into the world of politics. Now, your upcoming race is going to require all of your focus on the issues and those who are going to possibly vote for you. So, the one thing that you don't need to worry about is the media. I'm talking bumper stickers, billboards, newspaper print, radio, television, digital. Who do you buy? Cable, broadcast. There's a lot of decisions to be made. We're the experts at that. We take all of that off your plate, put your campaign together, and handle all of the buying and all of the production. Now that gives you the time to do what you need to. Meet all of the voters, focus on the issues, and get elected. Give us a call at Creative Media of Kentucky.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. You've seen these billboards and ads that say size matters. I agree. The size that matters is the size of the results the law firm gets for their clients. We have several multi-million-dollar verdicts here in Kentucky. In fact, our firm owns the record for the single largest personal injury verdict in the state of Kentucky. That's the size that matters to you. In Kentucky, give our firm the call.